Hello everyone, Nigat here, and welcome to another match of LittleWarGame. Today I'm bringing you a match that was played on Xenos between SlammerIV, playing with the red pieces in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, versus his opponent, ItzJ, playing with the blue pieces in the top right corner, again of Xenos. Both of these players have been featured on this channel before. However, it's been a little bit of time since I have casted either of these players' games, so it's going to be pretty interesting to see what they have been working on. This match came out of a ranked game, so both SlammerIV and ItzJ had been queuing up for a ranked match, and this is the replay of that game, and we kind of get to see what comes of that. In case this is your first time seeing one of my LittleWarGame videos, please go ahead and leave a like and subscribe if you are brand new. I would love to continue to grow my subscriber count, get LittleWarGame a little bit more noticed, and then at the same time just continue to grow the channel just a little bit more. So I'd super appreciate that, especially if you enjoy the content. But otherwise, let's go ahead and take a look at the build order. So SlammerIV going for a mech opening. I personally do like mech. I prefer raiders on Xenos. Xenos is just, if we look at the map here, the travel distance between these two maps is not very large. You're able to pretty much get to your opponent's natural expand pretty quickly with raiders here. It's not very far from each other, which allows you to get a lot of scouting information there. ItzJ just going for a den here. It looks like he decided to get a second house also, so he's going to be getting probably 4 wolves. Let's go ahead and take a look at the unit count. So typically you need 4 wolves, and then you'll be able to afford a castle. Whereas SlammerIV going for that mech build we see, it's going to probably be a second Gatling gun, but it looks like he's going to actually go for a very greedy castle here. Typically you want a second Gatling gun to defend before you get this castle here, just so you can be safe against raiders. But SlammerIV is basically determining that he is going to be safe no matter what. He's got this little area where this Gatling gun is going to pop out. Wolf pops in before before SlammerIV is able to block that. Has to pull 2 workers to defend against this. And the wolf is trapped. The worker is able to leave to avoid getting hit additionally by any of those wolves. And then just continued producing of that castle. At the same time, ItzJ is now sending a worker to start his own castle. So SlammerIV a little bit ahead in terms of the economy because he's about to get that early castle. He's also got about 12 workers where ItzJ has 13. So definitely supply is, or the economy, if this castle is able to finish, is definitely in SlammerIV's favor. ItzJ having to pull this worker here to make sure he's repairing this Gatling gun. Second Gatling gun comes out, so pretty much all the aggression that these wolves would have gone for is going to be stopped. SlammerIV going for this mill follow-up, and let's see what ItzJ decides to do. So he's got a worker on the map, and he's got 300 gold, so it looks like he's going to try to go for a very fast third base. Yeah, very interesting from ItzJ. Typically, you want to have some sort of advanced workshop if you know your opponent is going for mech. The reason being is that things like catapult drops, especially if you open with a workshop, you're allowed to get like 4-minute, 30-second catapult drops on your opponent's bases pretty quickly. So definitely am curious to see if ItzJ decides to get some sort of advanced workshop just to make sure that he's going to be safe. Both players on 14 workers. Let's go ahead and take a look at the income here. Yeah, both mining pretty much the same amount. Actually, ItzJ is, or Stevenator. No, sorry, not Stevenator. ItzJ rather. He was mining a little bit more gold there. Potentially because of the fact that Slammer. I hope I've not been calling him Stevenator this entire time. That would be really embarrassing. SlammerIV. Oh goodness, I feel like I've been calling him Stephen A this entire time. All right, we'll just move on. Slammer 4, rather, did have to pull those workers early in the game. Something interesting about this build in particular with the mill is that you're not able to access these caltrops with the Gatling guns for a while, which means that these guys are going to have a lot of unspent energy, and it's just a little bit of a bummer. We also see that the gyrocraft is moving on to the other side of the map. I don't remember if ItzJ would have seen that. Looks like it's a no, but he would be able to see that now. Is there an advanced workshop in production? No, instead we see a fortress for ItzJ, which is going to be pretty scary for Slammer here, yeah. You're definitely going to want to have something defend against dragons, but ItzJ having to get towers basically set up so that he doesn't, he avoids losing too many workers to this Gatling gun, or not this gyro. I'm having a hard time today. Wolf's in the middle of the map, putting a little bit of map control pressure on. Gatling guns not really doing too much here. And then Slammer is deciding to get that advanced workshop, just making sure he's going to be safe against things like dragons. Whereas ItzJ is getting these 2 towers, and he is going to be... got an alarm there. He's going to be safe against these gyrocraft basically once they're up. These units can get into places like here or here and start doing damage to these houses, but besides what's going on there, it should be okay. ItzJ going for a little bit of an aggressive move here with these wolves. Slammer again safe because of the fact that he has these Gatling guns, and he's even going to get the caltrop pretty soon that goes along with these Gatling guns, so it should be pretty exciting. Gyrocraft are out. Tower does finish. Looks like that gyrocraft was able to get a total of 3 kills, so that's very good value for 1 gyrocraft. He's even going to get additional value here because this base currently does not have any defensive watchtower up. Would love to see an additional watchtower. Castle's going, or Dragon Layer's going down for ItzJ. Tower is doing a really good job at defending this here. Slammer needing to micro this a little bit better. We also see that another gyrocraft is at the second base of ItzJ, killing another worker. So it looks like 1, 2, total of 5 kills between these 3 gyrocraft, which is a pretty good deal. Now it's going to be 6. And ItzJ in the meantime is deciding to move out on the map. So he does have the 3 bases. He is going to be able to defend against these gyrocraft with those watchtowers. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the workers. So ItzJ with the higher worker count. Slammer now going for a 3rd base of his own. So he's going to try to keep that income on the same level. In fact, they're both actually very even at this point. ItzJ doesn't have an answer for these gyrocraft, however, so it looks like he's trying to trade his wolves into these Gatling guns and this worker in this position, just so that he doesn't lose these wolves for free against these gyrocraft. Obviously, he's taking a very bad trade here just because he can't fight against these guys. Slammer 4 should be following these wolves with those gyrocraft. It's not like those wolves can attack the gyrocraft in general. ItzJ is assembling his wolves. Potentially could have gone for a little bit of a run by here, but with this defensive tower that Slammer has put up in his 3rd base location, it's going to be very hard to fight against that. I do like that Slammer is going for a bit of a mass gyrocraft style, or mass Gatling style rather. Combination between gyro and Gatling guns, but you definitely want to see a little bit more caltrop placement out of these guys, and it does look like Slammer 4 does decide to do that. Dragons are out, so ItzJ was able to start producing off of 1 layer. He is about to be supply blocked. That's not very good. We kind of need to take a look at production again. So Slammer getting 2 additional workshops, and now he's researching that black powder ballista upgrade. He's even got workers on auto repair, so he's able to send units home and defend there. And once this 2nd ballista is out, he should be able to defend against the amount of dragons that ItzJ has going for him. I do like the amount of production he has. I think he's going to have 3 workshops plus this advanced workshop plus this mill on 3 base. which is a good amount of production. Mech units are pretty expensive. They do take a while to build, but it's a good balance. Ballista here does fire the black powder upgrade. Wolves at the third base going to have a hard time dealing damage here. Looks like he's putting them on hold position. Slammer's workers are in hold position. That way these wolves don't automatically target the workers, and then at the same time Slammer has these gyrocraft, which are going to be doing a lot of damage to these wolves here. Workers do go down though. Let me go ahead and take a look at units lost. So about only 2 workers for Slammer 4 have gone down so far. So let's go ahead and take a look at the worker count again. So ItzJ with the 3 worker, no, he's actually down 3 workers. So definitely should be thinking about getting additional workers, and he is. He's producing 3 at a time currently, saturating his second base again, and then going to a 4th base as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at that production tab one more time. ItzJ 2 more dens, more dragons. So he's doing this off of 1 layer, which is nice. It's a balanced approach to dragons. Slammer 4 going for additional production. And is he going for an additional base? I kind of would like to see that as a mech player. If you could go for those additional bases, basically using your gyrocraft as your map control. And then you're like, if you get that good map control, you're able to to get a little bit of, bases behind the areas where you'd have map control. Okay. Slammer 4 with his, ItzJ with his dragons is attacking here. Slammer 4 having to retreat with these gyrocraft does also bring his ballista, gets a good amount of damage against these dragons here. Would love to see Slammer continue to micro his ballista so that he could chase these dragons and potentially get some more kills. But yes, I'd love to see Slammer just get a 4th base behind this push here, but it looks like he's deciding to get additional workshops. And let's go ahead and take a look at the building count. So he's currently got 4. He's gonna get 5 workshops plus a mill on 3 base. That is a very committed that's a very committed amount of production to be on. You definitely are trying to all in your opponent if you have this much production going, but it does look like he was able to save enough for a castle now, and he's got this area blocked off, so he's not looking to expand here just yet. I actually do like this area for a 4th base for the mech player, because you have this ramp that you could hold with some catapults. It's a very solid defensive area, and then easy to block off with these houses. Slammer needs to, yes, he moves his airship with the ballista almost immediately. Ooh, I love this. Caltrops on the ground. If these wolves do try to come in, they're going to get slowed down, which means that these catapults are going to be able to do a little bit more damage. I'd love to see additional catapults, actually, because you definitely want to see that AoE. And then worker pull for repairs. You kind of want to see, like, this is a very good fight for ItzJ, right? Because he was able to get the surround on these Gatling guns. And Gatling guns are incredible units when you're able to kite with them. And because these wolves were able to surround them, ItzJ got a lot of value, actually, from that. Let's go ahead and look at production one more time. So Slammer going for an additional advanced workshop, it looks like. Yep, he does. He already has one. I don't know if this many dragons is enough dragons to warrant a second workshop, but I guess ItzJ is also getting additional dragon layers. But would have Slammer, would have Slammer even seen this? And the answer is no. He's almost got no scouting, which is kind of not good, because he's got the gyrocraft. Like, these guys need to be moving around the map, getting as much information as they possibly can, and then even securing bases for you. Ooh, a lot of workers go down. Slammer was not microing this correctly. Even though this watchtower is here, it's going to be able to drag these dragons away, and ItzJ does lose a lot of dragons here. It's actually, yeah, like 500 gold worth of dragons, but at the same time, Slammer 4 lost almost like a full mine of production here. So I really hope he's able to recover from this, build additional workers. We can even take a look at the worker count. That's right. So Slammer is at 32 workers, whereas his opponent is on 40. Again, Slammer could be using these gyrocraft to just move around the map, get as much information as possible. Instead, it looks like he's going to go for a little bit of a push here. So the good thing about mech is that building extra workers is always a good thing to do. Ooh, you definitely don't want to lose this army to dragons though, right? Because this army can't attack up. So as this dragon army was moving to the side here, I guess ItzJ didn't see the fact that that was going on. Maybe having to focus against the defense of what was going on here. But dragons are able to sneak in. They're going to, looks like, target down this worker line. And it looks like he might even try to go into the main here. Slammer pulling workers, getting his ballista out. Let's go ahead and see. So nothing going on over here. But was able to save a good amount of his workers, and now these ballista, with the help of these watchtowers here, are going to be able to do a lot of damage to these dragons. Should be able to kill that? No, looks like he was moved out of range just in time. How many bases are we on? That's what I'm trying to figure out between both of these players. Let's take a look at buildings. So it is currently 5 bases for ItzJ versus 4 for Slammer, but he's also trying to secure a 5th base here. I see that. And then I want to take a look at the vision here. So Slammer doesn't see that that these buildings are going down. He now sees it. And then at the same time, ItzJ lost a couple workers, but definitely a lot of map presence to be able to determine what bases your opponents do and do not have. ItzJ going for a very nice style where he's getting a lot of bases, and you know, they're not oversaturated, which is good, and he's able to get a lot of economy, and that comes with the more bases you have comes a lot from how much map control you have. But yeah, these dragons are giving him a lot of map control, being able to move around. Slammer responding appropriately with these ballista, which is good. Definitely having these dragons go away. And then getting more gyrocraft could be a good answer, actually. Especially if they're able to do run-by attacks onto the other side of the map. Slammer 4, main army looks to be in this defensive position. He's got extra ballista and this airship here. Right now, this whole army is very vulnerable. It can't shoot up. And at the same time, ItzJ is moving over here. Slammer 4 immediately drops the ballista. But again, this army can't shoot up. It needs some sort of defenses. There was a airship over here. So it looks like he has 2 airships with ballista in them. They need to be here at this fight where they can defend against the dragons here. So the good thing is that watchtowers will eventually keep this safe. Ooh, oh, well played by ItzJ right there to put his wolves in that mine, and then Slammer's catapults just immediately knocked out. How many workers was that? Probably close to 10 workers for the cost of about 6 wolves, which was very well played by ItzJ. We can even take a look at the worker count now. So despite losing that many wolves, Slammer actually has more workers than his opponent, but I believe ItzJ has more bases. We can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mining bases, 7 mining bases, because this is technically still mining, but it only has 50 gold left, so not really still mining. Whereas Slammer has, 1, 2, 3, 4 mining bases. So ItzJ definitely with the economy advantage, and we can even take a look at that down here. Yeah, about 1,000 gold over his opponent. He's lost about 1,000 gold more than his opponent has, however. But yeah, if Slammer's losing these ballista, he's not going to be able to respond to these dragons appropriately. Wolves, looks like Slammer is going for an aggressive attack, but again, if oh, don't lose the ballista. Oh no, he just lost 2 ballista for free. If Slammer was able to drop those ballista, he could have pulled workers to repair them. Surely those ballista would have been able and strong enough to be able to deal with this dragon threat. We do see that the gyrocraft are now being controlled. An additional advanced workshop, so going for a total of 3 advanced workshops now. It's going to be a very big deal here. And we're even going for defensive upgrades for racks. I don't think that's the play here. I definitely think you should be going defensive mech upgrades, if anything. Gyrocraft focusing down the dragons. Yep, definitely focusing down the weaker dragons. They did clump up a little bit, so these dragons were able to get a lot of splash damage in. And now we see that because there are no ballista with this main army, Slammer is going to lose a big chunk of this. Yeah, losing about 7,000, 8,000 gold now to his opponent's also 8,000 gold. But ItzJ has mined a lot more than his opponent, about 1,000 more gold than his opponent, which is a big deal. That could be 3 additional bases. It could be a ton of workers. So it's a very big deal. Slammer 4 moving up with some ballista at the same time. ItzJ does have the wolves, so if he's able to target down these ballista, that'd be pretty good. And ItzJ is just really fighting over this watchtower. He really doesn't like that it's here. I actually really like this watchtower for ItzJ because it serves as a fantastic like attack point to attack into ItzJ's base here. Yeah, if Slammer 4 is able to get another base, another army with catapults, with ballista, he's definitely going to be able to siege this down and take it away from ItzJ. Same thing with up here. However, because of Slammer 4's like SimCity, it's going to be very difficult for him to expand and get another base up here. It's very defensive. Does look like those ballista didn't have very much support. We do see another ballista here, but we're in the ballista count where you are able to, or the dragon count rather, where you're able to kind of target down these dragons and be okay. However, we do have like 4 ballista here, so I think that was like a total of 8 ballista that we just saw. The 4 ballista that were here plus like the 4 that died over here, which means that ItzJ is going to be running out of opportunities to do damage with these dragons because ballistas hard shut that down. However, let's go ahead and take a look at the unit count again. Slammer 4 with the 4 ballista is going to have 4 times. Well, how many supply does the ballista take? I think it's 4. So 16 supply is going to be in the ballista. Might be worth it because of how many dragons are out on the map, but that is a good amount of supply in ballista for sure, especially for units that don't attack ground. If ItzJ ever decides to transition into a ground-based beast play, then Slammer is going to be in a lot of trouble. And it looks like ItzJ does have the den count to support that kind of play. It looks like it's 10 dens in this 20-minute game, which is very nice to see from both these players. I like that ItzJ has a lot of towers at his bases. Definitely keeping those safe. He definitely wants to keep those bases around for a long time. And now Slammer 4 pulling some workers for repair. Wolves approaching this. Only 1 ballista able to defend against dragons. Slammer 4 going for additional ballistas. They do appear. Reinforcements on the way as well. But everything that is underneath these dragons right now is dying very, very quickly. Wolves able to kill all those katas, and now they're just going for those workers. Dragons are going to be focusing down those ballistas, and it looks like I got a text, but besides me receiving a text message, it looks like ItzJ is able to take down Slammer 4 in this very, very interesting match. Let's go ahead and take a look at the economy here. So you can barely see it. Here, I'm moving it to the gray so you can see it a little bit better, but it looks like ItzJ was able to mine about 2,000 more gold than his opponent. Both lost about 10,000 gold worth. So in terms of gold on the map, both players have like about 12,000 gold on the map. ItzJ obviously a little bit more because he's been trading very efficiently, and he's been getting so many of these bases as well. Like he expanded to a lot of bases, whereas Slammer 4 was kind of stuck on 5 bases here. But, you know, well played by both of these players. They're definitely very good at what they do, and ItzJ taking that game down. It was very nice to see him using these dragons as well as the wolf combination with those attack upgrades. So very well played by ItzJ. Guys, if you enjoyed watching this video, go ahead and leave a like. Definitely would love it if you would subscribe to the channel. That way you can continue to watch more Little War Game videos here. And leave a like. Hopefully I will see you guys in the next video.